KASPER, according to your band info, you formed the band out of, it sounded like a bohemian scene in Copenhagen where you did all different kind of arts. How can I, was that like, were you living in a hippie commune or what was that?
Not exactly. The opposite way actually. We came from everything but hippies. Our parents weren't hippies at all. But I attended the school in Copenhagen when I was about 16 years old, and all I wanted to do was do little comic strips and paint graffiti and play rock and roll and make a lot of noise and a lot of trouble. And I didn't know quite where to take it, but I had a vague idea that I wanted to turn it into my living somehow. And then I met these two other cats who attended the school as well, Mats and Asger, and we started the band, and we named the band Nirvana. And there was a friend of mine who called me one day, and he said that there's a band, a three-piece band from America going by the name of Nirvana, and you might want to consider changing your name. And I was like, no, we're not going to change our name. And then a few weeks later, you could see the American billboards. It went to #1 with the Nevermind album and everything, and we were like, okay. Well,
so was it actually a feeling of defeat when you changed it?
Yes, a little bit, yeah. So we started looking for a different name, and we all agreed that we wanted to have something exotic sounding. There was a lot of disagreements within the band in the beginning because we wanted to play different types of music, and we only really had one song that we shared a love for, which was the song Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. So we picked that as a name, and then we said, okay, we might choose a different name when something better comes along, but we got stuck with that, so it's still around.
Yeah, I like it. It's a great association. Why did you decide on rock music? Well,
it was the perfect. I think it was the perfect way to get a very immediate reaction from your surroundings. To plug your plug your electric guitar into an amplifier and turn it up really loud. It just always appealed to me. Even though I'm much more into acoustic instruments now, I still love rock music and noise rock and guitar music. So, yeah.
Singing is not your only career. You're very serious and even successful as a painter as well, is that right?
Yes. Actually, I have been doing, I said this in the beginning, I've been doing drawings and graffiti and animated movies, a lot of drawings, a lot of paintings since I was a kid. My mother is she used to work as a painter, and she gave me all the tools I needed, pencils and pens and paint, to her big regret. So actually that's something that I've been doing for much longer than playing music, but there was no riot in doing that in my home, because that was just following the lead of my mother. So.
Even though your pictures are very drastic and strong, they're more rock and roll than much music is, I would say.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Really, do check it out. It's KASPER EISTRUP. You Google after them. It's really and. Most of your artwork for your covers and stuff were also done, or at least involving yourself, right?
Yeah, it's one of the fun parts about making records for me, because it's so painful to be in the studio and boring, and it takes a long time, and on tour it's painful as well, and you always hang over it, and you always have to perform, and it's such a drag. No. I love it, obviously, but the whole thing, after doing an album, after being in the studio together with the band members for a long time, it's always a great playground for me to get involved in the whole visual side of releasing albums.
I can very well imagine, also because it's already done. It's like you're only decorating, and I love that also in the studio when the main tracks are on. Or I studied mathematics, and then once you found the proof, then making it more elegant. That's such. This second step is so much lightweighter and
it
nicer.
is about finding colors and ornaments.
Yeah, cool. But this time you worked with Marco Mazzoni for the drawings. Was it hard for you to let go and let him do the drawings of the?
Well, this whole last album, which is coming out soon, has been a lot about letting go of control. In order to let the music lead you where it's supposed to go, and also that comes to the cover artwork as well. We always prefer in the band to have, or we did that a couple of times, to have animated music videos, because that meant that we didn't have to take part in recording the video. We could just let somebody do it. And for this album, I was just sort of browsing around on the internet, looking for images that I liked, and I came across this wonderful Italian young artist called Marco Mazzoni. You should check him out. He's very, very talented, and he's doing all his work with the little color pencils in different colors. It almost looked like photography. It's very
realistic, but then scary too.
A bit scary, yeah.
And speaking of the videos, do check out the video to Rocket Brothers. It's a while ago, but it's one of my absolute favorite videos ever. The song is great, and also the animation is awesome. You say that you try for every record to have a totally new approach in songwriting. There was even a time between, I think, 2006 and 2010 or so where you didn't do much recording at all. Now, for this record EAR that you bring out now, can you describe what was the special way of writing the songs, of approaching the songs this time?
It was special because it started out with a discussion between the 4 band members where we sat down and talked about what to do and if we should do anything at all. And I think it's always, for us as a band, there has to be a reason to do something again. We're not doing albums just to go on tour and make more money or make more hits or something like that. And it's not a conscious decision to be artsy-fartsy or something. It's just, it has to feel right. And for this album, I had an idea of bringing more of the resources of the different band members into the studios, so that it wasn't just me as the main songwriter, which it has been in most cases on our albums. So we came up with this concept of putting a time limit to the production. So we said 12. The number 12 was sort of like a key number for the record. So we decided that we could only use 12 instruments, and we should make 12 songs, and it had to be finished by the 12th of December 2012, which it wasn't. I think it was done by Christmas or something, but 12 was like a key thing, and then obviously, and it was supposed to be called Piece 12. And each song should be called Piece 1, Piece 2, Piece 3, etc. But as it is with music, when you get into it and you start to play around with it, it takes control. That's the way it should be, at least. And
another way of giving in, which is the other main theme of the album.
Yes, exactly.
It's interesting how limitation can actually make things broader and more colorful.
It's a fantastic way to convey creativity. Because and also, you know, we had you tend to get a bit lazy and you use the same guitar pedals and you use the same guitar and the same drum sound because it worked on the last album and it worked on a couple of songs in the past. It just gets very tired and dull.
You're also touring Germany, right?
Yes, we will tour Germany in the spring, after the release of our album, and we will be playing in Hamburg, in Webel und Gefährlich. I believe
Und Gefährlich.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's also where our concerts are.
Yeah, on the 9th of April, and on the 13th we will be playing in Köln. I can't remember the venue, but it's on the 13th.
Maybe Gloria.
No? Try again. Okay.
That's the only
And on the 18th we'll play Munich, 18th of April, Munich, and on the 20th of April we will be playing the Postbahnhof here in Berlin. So,
I heard they have very good bands there.
yes, and you should all come, please, please.